Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is about to begin. Please take your seats and silence your electronic devices.
Lead, discover, develop, deliver. The Air Force Research Laboratory leads the discovery, development, and delivery of war-fighting technologies for our air, space, and cyber forces. Our scientists, researchers, and professionals reimagine what's possible, creating tomorrow's technology today. This pursuit of innovation delivers solutions for our warfighters' urgent needs, creating innovative new capabilities for the Air Force. When others say it's impossible, we find a way. We are the Air Force Research Laboratory.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am your narrator, Major Chris Olson. On behalf of the presiding officer, General Arnold W. Bunch, Jr., welcome to the Air Force Research Laboratory Assumption of Command Ceremony. The Assumption of Command Ceremony is deeply rooted in military tradition and dates back to the reign of King Frederick of Prussia. During this time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each unit. When a new commander was to take over, the flag was given to the individual assuming command. This gesture was accomplished in front of the unit so all could see and witness their new leader assuming command. Today, our guidon bearer is Chief Master Sergeant Kenney Arnold, Command Chief, Air Force Research Laboratory, and due to current events, he will maintain custody of the flag on behalf of the command. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of Ruffles and Flourishes, the General's March, and the National Anthem by the Right Pat Drum and Bugle Corps. Please remain standing while the invocation is delivered by Chaplain Patrick Stallnaker. Thank you, Drum and Bugle Corps. Chaplain Stallnaker, please offer the invocation.
I invite you to join me in prayer as you're able. Almighty God, we thank you for this day you've given to us and all that it holds in store. We thank you for this occasion for which we have gathered, the assumption of command. I ask your blessing on Brigadier General Heather Pringle as she assumes command and picks up the mantle of leadership for the Air Force Research Lab. Assure her, Almighty God, that she is up to the task, that although new experiences and lessons are sure to come her way, this community and her training are sufficient, that she has adequate experience and is thus prepared for her new role. Give her clear vision for the way ahead. Fill her with wisdom and strength. Equip her with an understanding heart to lead the men and women of the Air Force Research Lab and a heart of compassion for the men and women who sacrifice daily by her side. Help her to lead with integrity, seek to serve first, and do all she does with excellence as unto you. Bless her husband JT and their family as they make their home with us. Ease this transition for them and make their home a refuge and a place of security and love. Thank you for their support and sacrifice. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Together with these petitions, hear our prayer for the Air Force Research Lab, for in this assumption of command, they too face new transitions and new adventures. Give the members patience with the differences that will naturally come as a new leader takes command. Grant the members the wisdom to know that a different leader brings difference, and difference is neither good nor bad, it's simply different. Build camaraderie into this community that it might be a source of comfort, security, joy, and blessing, not only for itself, but for all whom it touches and serves here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and throughout the United States Air Force. Today we stand together as airmen, strong in mind, heart, body, and spirit. We recognize and acknowledge the truth conveyed by Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. We stand together having answered our calling with, "Here am I, send me." In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I'd like to recognize our special guests joining us today. We would like to begin with a very warm welcome to Brigadier General Pringle's spouse, Mr. J.T. Harris, and their sons, Zach and Bryce. General Pringle's daughter, parents, siblings, and close family also wanted to be here today. However, they are cheering from Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, and North Dakota. We are also very pleased to welcome a few of our distinguished guests here with us today. Mrs. Caroline Bunch, spouse of General Bunch. From the United States House of Representatives, the Honorable Michael Turner, representing the 10th Congressional District for the state of Ohio. From the Ohio Governor's Office, Mr. Joe Zies, Senior Advisor for Aerospace and Defense. From the Air Force Research Laboratory, Brigadier General Evan C. Dertien, Director, Air, Space, and Cyberspace Operations, Air Force Materiel Command, and former Commander, Air Force Research Laboratory, and his spouse, Erica. Colonel Paul E. Henderson, Vice Commander. Mr. Jack Blackhurst, Executive Director. Dr. Tim Bunning, Chief Technology Officer. Attending from the Air Force Materiel Command, Major General Carl Schaefer, Deputy Commander, and his spouse, Pauline. Ms. Trish Young, Executive Director. Chief Master Sergeant Stan Cadell, Command Chief. From the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center, Lieutenant General Robert McMurray, Commander. And finally, we extend a special welcome to our entire in-person and virtual audience and say thank you for joining us to witness this tradition and welcome General Pringle and her family to AFRL. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host, General Bunch.
So thanks everybody for attending today. This is the first one of these I've done virtually. I know we got a lot of folks that are out on the network. Thanks for taking the time to be here. A very big day for our Air Force, for AFRL, and for Heather and her family coming into this role. Congressman Turner, sir, you're a strong advocate for the Air Force, for AFMC, for AFRL, and Right Pat. Thanks for your continued support. We're really glad you're here and appreciate it, and thanks for bringing the other congressmen in so we can educate them on what we do as well. It was a great visit this week. Thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. Mr. Zeese, I really struggle to say that, Joe Bag, given that we flew together as captains and majors, but thanks for your strong support and everything you're doing with Governor DeWine and helping us build that partnership up. So it's good to see you here. I hope Susan and the lass are doing well, okay? Jeff, we didn't call you out. I want to call you out because from the Dayton Development Coalition, civic leader extraordinaire, thanks for everything you and everybody does for the whole community here. It's fantastic. We couldn't do a lot of what we do without you and the community's support, and we always appreciate it, even if we don't say thank you enough all the time. So thanks for being here. For all the other senior leaders here, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. And you got a former commander back here with Robert. Weed now falls into the former commander category. This is a great job that all of us have at one time or the other thought, man, I would really like to do this. This is a cool job. So I really appreciate all of you coming in as we welcome Heather and her family into the mix here and welcome them back into the AFMC team. And I appreciate that. I'm going to do this one probably a little out of order. Normally I would have something I got over here, but with COVID, I got a few notes. I'll try not to drone on too long. I do know there's a clock back there. The other clock that's here is sitting right down here, she's not afraid to do this, and I know I'm going to get critiqued going home, so I'll try to keep it short, kind of keep top level, and we'll move out from there on what we're going to do. The first thing that I got to do is another thank you, and that is to Weed and Erica. Brigadier General Evan Dertien, known by me as Weed. I had to actually look up that Evan was his first name. About 6 months ago, he stepped into this role for the research laboratory with about a week's notice, if we even gave him that much, and he stepped in. And Weed, you all have just done an absolutely phenomenal job. You've kept S&T 2030 rolling forward, the Vanguard's rolling forward. We had the COVID-19. You've led through a pandemic. The Epi Lab has done 50% of DOD's COVID-19 testing for the whole time. We've had urgent operational needs that have come in so that we get the ability to transport. You've done that in partnership with Robert's team to give a capability to transit COVID-19 positive folks. We got that capability out in the field in 3 weeks. You've partnered with academia to do the airflow through the cockpits to come up with a way to protect the crews. You've kept the workforce informed. You've kept them engaged. You've moved the Vanguards forward. You've just done a fantastic job. So we put you into that. It's more than once that I put you into this kind of a role to step in and lead when we had something change. And you've clearly demonstrated why you're an unbelievable officer and have a very bright future going forward. So for Evan, thank you very much. And I will say that he and I exchanged emails this morning that lets me know that he has transitioned over because he sent me something with the A36 moniker on it about some task that we were getting ready to do. And I've already fired back another task that came out of that, so welcome back into the family. I'm happy you're back over in A36. Now I got to go out into the VTC land for who a lot of this is really about. We do these ceremonies because they're very important for the lab to understand who the new commander is and all the airmen within the lab. But we also do these to celebrate service and sacrifice of not only the uniform wearer, but the family who have supported them all along the way. And Heather has a tremendous number of people that are out in VTC land that wanted to be here today, but couldn't do that because of the travel restrictions. And some of them are not overly thrilled right now with Heather because she would not allow them to come over, but to travel to be here. But she did the right thing. She guided you the right way. So please forgive her later on. Don't vote her off the holiday card list. She loves you. She's trying to protect you. That's why she did some of this. So please bear with us. And I think by doing this, you learn a little more about who the commander is going to be, and you get a little bit of insight into this. So this is going to take me a minute or two. First, to JT's mom and dad, Kathy and Tom. Thanks for your support of the family. JT and Heather grew up together, and when they got married, they moved away. You may have thought that wasn't going to be long term. It's been quite a while. When one member of the family serves, everybody in the family serves. So thank you for your allowing them to miss family events and do some of those things. So thanks for dialing in today and being here. For JT's sister and brother-in-law, Deanna and Paul, thanks for your continued support as you make this all work. So hopefully you all enjoy today, and you'll have an understanding of a little bit of what this lady has done in her time. This one is interesting to me, and Heather wanted to make sure that I called them out. And this is Aunt Kathy and Uncle Mike. Now, Aunt Kathy took a trip years back, a day or two ago, and when she took that trip, she went to Annapolis. And she came back and told Heather, you need to really look into applying to one of these service academies. And that was kind of the genesis of Heather starting to go down the path of going to the Air Force Academy and trying to apply. And Uncle Mike kept telling her every time she would come home in uniform, you're serving your country, you're doing great things, you're making a difference, continue to serve. So she gives them a lot of credit for continuing to first to get her in, and second to keep her moving in the Air Force and staying on board. So hopefully you all enjoy this, and you should be very proud, and we thank you for prodding her along and getting her started down this path. Heather's sister, Erin, and Dean and Audrey, and her brother, Cam, and Molly and Sophia. Erin and Dean are taking care of Airmen at Hill Air Force Base, and Cam and Molly are taking care of Airmen at Grand Forks. So to you all, she's very proud of what you're doing and what you have done, and she loves you all very much. She wishes you could be here. But she's sure when we get out of this, we'll get everybody back together here at Wright Pat or somewhere and get another reunion kind of going forward. Mom and Dad, Miss Lorna and Mr. H.L., thank you. Thank you for the solid foundation you set in this airman that we have here today. You taught her the core values before she ever came our way. She had them ingrained in her from the upbringing you provided. Highly motivated, great with people, you set that foundation. Thank you for your service and allowing her to serve and allowing her to miss anniversaries, birthday parties, all those kind of things. You've served like she has. Thank you for that. She's really proud of you. She hates you couldn't be here, but she's also glad you're getting to dial in. Now to the immediate family. The first one I got to call out is Jordy. Jordy's in her third year of pharmacy school at the University of Utah. And the message to you, Jordy, is keep crushing it. Mom's very proud of you. You're doing really well. Keep doing the school. She didn't say finish and go get a JOB, but I think that was kind of underlying in that. But anyway, thanks. She's very proud. Mom and Dad are very proud, and they love you. Zach, VMI grad recently, dual major. Just now trying to figure out what he's going to be when he grows up. He's really interested in a couple of items that kind of are important to us. Artificial intelligence and digital science and data science and coding and things that we're all talking about on a day-to-day basis. I would have historically told him to reach out to the Air Force Research Laboratory with a resume and maybe get a job. He might have a little bit of a conflict of interest. So there's this guy sitting back there named McMurray. He's the guy you would want to give your resume to right now. If you want to go down that path, since Mom can't hire you right now, that would be a little bit of a conflict. And last but definitely not least of the children, Bryce. Bryce is 9 in the 4th grade. Soccer, swimming, reading, overall fun guy. Okay, that's what how he was described to me. I asked him today, I said, if you were describing Mom, how would you do it? This is in the back room. And everybody kind of pauses because you kind of wonder what's coming next. And he said, she's nice. And we go, okay, well, everybody now breathes. because he didn't say anything that I would embarrass Mom with. So, Bryce, that's really cool. The last time I got to see this young man, he and Mom were breaking down a lemonade stand in the housing area over in the Bricks, because they were running a lemonade stand right next to the golf course one afternoon, and they were tearing it down when I came through. This was right after Caroline and I got here. For you three, your mom and dad love you dearly. There's no way you will understand how much they love you until you have your own children. Then you will have an idea of how proud they are of you and how much they love you. But glad you're here, glad you're getting to participate, and you should be very proud of Mom. Okay. I did ask Bryce what we were doing today. He said, an assumption of leadership. And then we went a little more detail, trying to give him an idea of what really Mom's trying to tackle. But to a 9-year-old, she's Mom. And that's really the way it ought to be, and that's the way Heather will treat it all along. And then the individual that Heather has been married to for coming up on 28 years, JT. JT works from home, manages some properties and things like that, but has limited some of what he may have been able to do so that he could support and allow her to serve. The normal line that I use JT is, the best value the American taxpayer gets is a military spouse. We don't give them anything. They do all the work to try to get kids in school, find soccer teams, find idle hour to swim at, as I learned just recently you've joined, and doctors and all that, and you put your career on hold to try to support and allow her to serve, so thank you for doing that. We greatly appreciate it. I'll let her say more of the ooey gooey stuff when she talks. I won't go there and create any more embarrassment there. I'm going to talk a little bit about Heather to let you know who your new commander is going to be. Heather was born in Tucson. She grew up in the metropolis of Jerome, Idaho. She described Jerome as on the other side of the Snake River Canyon that Evel Knievel's jump did not reach when he tried to do his jump in earlier days. It's a little over 10,000 people. I looked it up on Wikipedia last night. It had grown a little over 3,000 since the last census. So 2010 census, around 10,000 folks, a little more than that. In Wikipedia, if you don't do it, I occasionally go look there. It listed one of the significant residents of the community as the Motley Crue drummer. So, that's your claim to fame for the local community as the Motley Crue drummer. She and JT met their freshman year of high school. And then they got married after graduating from the Colorado School for Wayward Boys and Girls in 1991. I talked a little bit about Heather wanting to go to the Air Force Academy. And one of the things that she tried to apply, she talked to her guidance counselor. And her guidance counselor informed her, there is no way that you can make it through the Air Force Academy. And I asked Heather his name because I was going to do something that had been done in one of my previous, because I once had an English teacher inform in front of the entire class that I would never amount to anything. And we were going to use that she stopped herself though. That's kind of high caliber person that she is. I didn't. I used the person's name. And I was going to call him out and say, thank you for giving her a challenge. And I would have gone, how do you like me now? So there you go, Mr. You Can't Make It. Thanks for giving her that incentive to go to the academy and to strive and to succeed and to continue to serve. You've got her bio. I'm not going to read you all of her accomplishments along the way. I'm going to hit a few points, though, that I think are particularly relevant that give you an idea why she's exactly the right person to come in and lead the research laboratory right now. She got her master's right out of graduating out of the academy. She went back later and got her PhD. She's taught at the Air Force Academy as a master when she had a master's, and then went and got her PhD and went back and taught at the academy again. So she understands the academic environment, and she can make that linkage between what we're doing and academia and make that work for those partnerships that we've got to have, which are so critical to our success in the research lab. She's worked in acquisition in a variety of jobs. She's done foreign military sales. She's worked in international affairs. She was a squadron commander in your organization once upon a time there, B2. And she's worked on the joint staff in J8. So she's got a very broad breadth of experience in a variety of career fields or experiences that play directly into what we're trying to do to transition technology out to the field and to partner with others. She's been in AFRL. She was at Mesa at the DET, so she knows the way AFRL does business. She's been an exec 3 times. Many of you have heard me talk about being an exec. I have never, even that I know of, been nominated to be an exec. I have never even been nominated to be a senior mill assist or an aide. I do believe it has directly to do with my personality and how I probably am to do business with. But the reality of it is, I never measured up to do that, much less to be someone that did it 3 different times. The last time she did it for someone that many of us may know, General Welsh. She was the Chief of Staff of the Air Force's exec. Now, there's an interesting story about how that transpired. Heather was serving in a different job that I'll talk about here in a minute, and her staff came in and said, "There's a Joe Walsh that wants you to return a call," and gave a phone number. She said, "Are you sure Joe Walsh is exactly the right name here?" And it turns out when she dialed the number, it was General Mark Welsh, not Joe Walsh. And that was her interview to get the job, and General Welsh selected her to go to that position. That is the chief's confidant. That is someone that knows everything that is going on in the chief's office, the good and the bad. That is a leadership role where you get to see all MAJCOM commanders come in and try to sell their ideas to the chief, and all the 2 letters and everybody else. There is not a better leadership laboratory in our Air Force that you can learn from, and she got to learn it at the side of one of the best leaders I've ever had the privilege of working for in General Mark Welsh. So that's another one. When you ask about leadership, how to solve problems, she's well grounded in all those things. She served as a commander at squadron level working in AFSAC. She has served as a vice commander out of 377th, so she knows our business a little bit. She was the commander of Joint Base San Antonio. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, that is like herding cats on steroids. You have every MAJCOM, you got everybody trying to do their own thing, and you're the shepherd trying to guide them all along. You're working with the Navy, you're working with the Army, you're working with all kinds of folks. And she was down there when Hurricane hit Houston and FEMA rolled in with all this and led her team through all that. So she is a great leader and a great commander and very well grounded in all those things. She was our A5, 8, 9. So she knows how the budget works, and she knows how the money moves, and she knows who to call when she needs to get a little bit of a tweak or an influence in what we're trying to fund within the lab and build those coalitions. And the last job she had, which was in the 5-sided building, the Pentagon, she was up there doing our strategic planning. And the job of the strategic planner, if you don't know what that is, it is not one that everybody just jumps up and goes, "Ooh, ooh, pick me." It is a very challenging job. You're looking at where we want to go for the Air Force 10 to 20 years out. How does the budget align? What can we afford? And you get to squash so many good ideas that everybody has that it's beyond belief, because you're throwing the cold water of reality on what really is out there and what's viable. And she has done that job very, very well through some very challenging times as we've looked at where we're going to go as an Air Force and what we need to do to be the Air Force we need to get after the National Defense Strategy and move forward. We're very happy Heather is here. I believe our unbridled happiness that she is here is probably overridden by her joy of getting out of D.C. Because that is a very interesting job and a very interesting position. I believe she has the same mantra that I have. Happiness is a C prefix. Getting to be a commander in the field, much better than working in the 5-sided building and doing those kind of things. And now she gets to come back to what she's called her dream job, coming back to be in the Air Force Research Laboratory. So a tremendous leader, a tremendous airman, great breadth of experience, and ready to lead the lab. So why is it so important that she's coming in now to do this job? The lab, $6.3 billion, over 6,300 airmen. When you add in our contractor force, it's over 10,000 she's going to be leading. We're at a phase where we're going through Science and Technology 2030 implementation. We're changing the way we do a lot of activities within the research lab. The team's moving out to implement that strategy. We've stood up the vanguards. We've got the Transformational Capabilities Office. We're looking at how we recruit and retain. We're looking at how do we move our investments around to get the most bang for our buck. We're looking at how we make it more competitive to keep programs going. The research lab does its wartime mission every day. Our job in the lab is to make sure we're developing those technologies that we're going to need to have a decided advantage when we put airmen into harm's way. That's what we have to do. We have a lot of money in the lab. We have to wisely execute it to get the most bang for our buck and make sure we're developing technology that will make us competitive and will keep us with near peers. And critical to us executing the National Defense Strategy and for us driving to the Air Force we need. If the research laboratory is not working properly and not performing, we as an Air Force cannot succeed. That's why the mission is so critical. That's why it's so important that we're bringing in the right leader now to come back in and take over the helm as Weed steps out. Make sure I find the right notes now. I've done most of it without it. To the airmen of AFRL, you are getting a phenomenal leader, a phenomenal airman, a compassionate individual, an A-plus officer who is the epitome of every day lives our core values without any questions whatsoever. She's smart, she's talented, and the bottom line of it is, as Bryce said, she's nice and she's good people. And she's going to move you forward. My expectations are that you're going to support her just as you have General Dertien and previous commanders, and you're going to execute the missions and you're going to keep us successful. Heather, you're inheriting a fantastic team. The airmen of AFRL are absolutely world-class. Unparalleled knowledge, comparable to anybody out in the industry, any other service, better than those folks. Remarkable, on the cutting edge, leading the way in so many things that we need to do to be successful. Please take care of them. I am confident that they will take care of you. We are absolutely thrilled to welcome you and JT back into the AFMC family. Thank you for your continued professionalism, and I look forward to working for you as we go forward with this. So we're going to do the change of command here, assumption of command. We're not going to pass the flag. I do want to make one kind of sort of final comment. You know that your reputation as a commander is out there for everybody to understand what your capabilities and limitations are. When you not only get tape to show you where to stand, but you get initials on the tape to make sure you don't stand in the wrong place. So I'm going to now stand on the B tape. You're going to stand on the P tape, and we're going to change this over and make you the new commander. Let's get on with it.
Thank you, General Bunch. General Pringle, will you please join General Bunch center stage? Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the publishing of the order.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51604 and Special Order Number GS-2006, effective 18 June 2020, Brigadier General Heather L. Pringle is appointed Commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio.
Sir, I assume command.
Congratulations, Heather.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, General Bunch. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Brigadier General Heather L. Pringle, Commander, Air Force Research Laboratory.
Oh, thank you. What a dream come true. Thank you, General Bunch. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you, distinguished visitors and guests. Congressman Turner, it's wonderful to have you here today and to have your support. This really means a lot, not only to me and my family, but to this command and to the Air Force Research Lab. Thank you for your time. And Mr. Zeese, for representing the governor's office. We really appreciate your support and being a partner with us going forward. And of course, Jeff Hoagland, representing the community that way. We wouldn't be successful without you. Thank you so much for your time and your support. We really appreciate it. So to the senior leaders in the office, General Schaefer and Pauline, General McMurray, Chief Cadell, Miss Young, General Dertien and Erica, General Hawkins, and my friends Brian and Allie, and of course Snod. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today, and particularly the team at Air Force Research Lab. You know, the great thing about having a virtual change of command is you get to have so many more family members participate in this ceremony. And so I'm really lucky that my mom and dad are online watching in Idaho. My sister and her family in Utah. You heard about my brother and his family in North Dakota. JT's family in Idaho. Aunts and uncles in Utah, or aunts and uncles in Wyoming, of course, as well. And of course, we have our daughter going to school in Utah. Right here in the front row, though, is what really matters most. I've got my high school sweetheart sitting here before me with 2 out of our 3 children. We're really proud of all of you. I really wouldn't be standing here before you if it weren't for my family, and particularly for JT. He puts everyone's needs before his own, and he really treats me so much better than I deserve, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. I wish you could all be here at the Air Force Institute of Technology, but from the bottom of my heart, whether you are in the room or you are online, your support does not go unnoticed, because today is a really special day, and this is a dream opportunity for me. JT and I are really excited to be back in the Buckeye State. And even as this nation is struggling with the challenges of a COVID world, we know that the professionals in this command and this community know how to come together during difficult times. And so today, despite the challenges of pulling off a virtual change of command, we know that was no small feat, but I think everyone here today and watching online are really impressed. So I'd like to start by thanking the protocol team. Everything is in place and everyone is safe. Thank you so very much. And to Senior Airman Holmes, did you like that rendition of our national anthem? Absolutely pitch perfect. She'll be coming back for a little encore later, but I really appreciate her support. We've got Jeremy in the booth back there, who's working his magic so we can connect with our teammates around the world. How impressive is that? And Chaplain, thank you for putting in a good word for us. That means a lot. I'd also like to call out our narrator, Major Olson, and Captain Hartling, and other volunteers who worked hard behind the scenes and worked hours, and their meticulous practice really made today special. So thanks so much for taking care of me and my family today. It just made it that much more better. It's pretty obvious that this is a hardworking team and extremely talented. I couldn't be more honored to join your ranks today. And I don't know if it shows or not, but I'm also really excited to be here. General Bunch, sir. So I don't know how you got into cahoots with my mother, but thank you for saying all those things about me. I know that this team has made you proud before, and we will absolutely stay the course, innovating technology for the warfighter. Taking the helm of this national treasure is really the honor of a lifetime. General Dertien, my friend, Evan, how did you do this? I cannot imagine your workload being dual-hatted as the AFRL commander and the director of operations. You must have been incredibly busy, and we should be thanking you for all that you have done for the Air Force Research Lab and for our Air Force. Thank you so much. I'm sure Erica is excited to see you again. And I, for one, am really looking forward to following in your footsteps, building on your progress, and continuing our long-lasting partnership. I know there's a lot of community members out there, industry, academia, and teammates from across the base. I really look forward to getting to know you, meeting a few new friends, and reconnecting with some old ones. But most of all, I look forward to strengthening our ties. We wouldn't want to go on this journey without you. It simply wouldn't be possible. And finally, to the AFRL team. This is truly exciting for me. I'm really glad to be here. What an incredible team. Nobody has your talent, and nobody has your passion, and nobody has your track record for success. You've made huge strides in so many areas, some of which I can't really pronounce, but I look forward to seeing what you do next. I simply can't wait. And your mission, what an incredible mission. You get to work on the cutting edge of technology and deliver innovative solutions to the warfighter. Nothing could be more important to the future of our nation. The warfighter is counting on every one of us to lead, discover, develop, and deliver, as you have done before. And so I want you to keep doing what you have been doing. Lead with passion, discover and develop more innovative technologies and transformational capabilities, and deliver every time the warfighter calls. I couldn't be more honored to join your team. I really look forward to getting to know each and every one of you, all 6,000 of you, all around the world. It's gonna be great. I look forward to learning about your goals and, most importantly, helping you succeed. So I am more than honored to have this opportunity, General Bunch. Thanks for your trust and confidence. I am more than just a little excited to start this journey with you today. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, General Pringle. The men and women of the Air Force Research Laboratory extend a warm welcome to General Pringle and her family. And ma'am, we look forward to working with you and serving under your command. Under normal circumstances, we would all sing the Air Force song. However, for the health and safety of our guests, we would ask that you please refrain from singing and enjoy this instrumental rendition by the Drum and Bugle Corps as the official party departs the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Assumption of Command ceremony. Thank you for joining us in person or virtually. Please continue to practice social distancing as you exit the building. We appreciate your support and wish you a fantastic Air Force Day.